Good morning all. Let us start off with sharing the screen first and a quick recap of what we discussed in the previous class. Right. So, in the previous class, we discussed we started off with the module 4 and we discussed few concepts as in the classes and objects. Right. The programmer defined type we saw, that is the point, and then we went ahead to discuss the different attributes for that class object. What are the different attributes? How can we retrieve those attributes? Right. Then we saw again a type, the point, how it can be used to do some task like creating a rectangle, right? Taking some size of that rectangle and the location of that rectangle. So we saw two possibilities here, and we saw the object diagram for that, right? And ultimately we saw the instances, how instances, right? Instance of a class can be returned as a value, right? How instances can be made to return as value. We saw an example of again finding the center of a rectangle as well as finding the center of a box, right? And then we saw how objects are mutable, right? How can we change or modify the objects by making changes in by making an assignment to one of its attributes, right? Assigning some values, modifying or incrementing or decrementing some values to make the object change, right? And that's how we can say that the object can be a mutable. And then we saw how can we make a copy of an object, right? Can we make a duplicate copy of an object? Although the copy will be made, but those two objects will be treated as two different objects, right? So that's all we saw in the previous class. So moving ahead with the discussion, in today's lecture we'll be discussing the classes and functions, right? How can we have classes and the functions that can take these program defined objects as the parameter and then return some result, right? So far we have seen how objects, the class objects, what is the class object value gets returned, and how can we make use of that returned value to play with the different attributes of that class object, right? So in today's lecture, we'll be focusing upon the functions, right? How can we create our own function, right? Not just an object, but how can we create a programmer-defined function which can take this programmer-defined object itself as a argument or as a parameter, and then it will return some result. So let us go ahead and create the first function, that is our own function. You can say programmer defined function called time. So time, as the name suggests, we are going to represent the time of the day, right? So that will be in the usual format, hours, minutes, and seconds, right? So these are the three different attributes that these function will be having, right? So usual way of representation, like we have been seeing so far in the programmer defined type, is naming a variable and assigning it to the object, right, which is time here. So as I mentioned, I've been repeatedly mentioning that the way to represent a particular object is exactly the same how we represent a function, right? So that's how we are going to represent the object here, but we are going to create a function for that as well, right? How, we will see, but first we are going to initialize, or what we call it, instantiation of these objects, right, and the parameters of this object. So the object time, the parameter time dot r, and the parameters time dot minute, and also the parameter time dot second are initialized with some values, right? So these are just, let's say, some random values, wherein this particular value represent 11 hours, 59 minutes, and 30 seconds, right? So just to give you a illustration of how it looks on the object diagram, this is how it will be looking. That we have an object called time, stored in the variable time, and then inside that we have three arguments, right? Three attributes, pardon, that is hour, minute, and second, with some values assigned to it, right? So that's how a simple object diagram would look like. So That's how a function can be made use of here, when we call it a programmer defined type. But let us go ahead and use this function to perform some operations, right? So in order to perform this operation, we have to understand few things, that there are two types of functions, right? Mainly, I'm talking about the programmer defined type. There are two types of function that we'll be discussing here in this chapter, that is classes and functions. That is pure functions and modifiers, right? Pure functions. What are the pure functions and what are the modifiers? Right? As the name suggests, pure function is the pure function. It doesn't make any changes in it. It just takes the same value as the input and processes it to produce some result. But modifier, as the name suggests, will be taking the input, bringing the changes in the value, and then going to produce some result depending on the changed value, that is the modified value, right? So that is the job of a modifier there. Anyway, so what we are going to do here is, this pure function, they demonstrate a development plan, for which we call it as prototype and patch, right? You must have heard this term called prototype and patch. Prototype is called kind of a model, you can say a simple model or a structure to understand uh, complex problem by dividing into some simpler problems, right? So that is a smaller prototype, you can say. And patch, you are already aware of the term patch, and it is just the added code which can be collaborated with the main code, right? So we will deep dive into more into this and understand it better. But just remember that there are the two types of functions that we are going to see here. One is the pure function, another is the modifier. Right? So let us go and understand what is this pure function, and how do we call it as a pure function, and how it is different from a modifier. So taking the same function that we have just defined, that is the time, we are going to create a simple prototype for this time function, which will be our pure function, right? So let's name it as add time. So what we are going to do is, we are going to add the timings, right? Let's say we have two records of two times. We are going to just add those times. It's a simple task, right? So we are going to create a prototype for it. So the procedure remains the same. That is to first create a function, uh, definition def add underscore time, with the two parameters, that is the time one time and the second time that you want to add it. Right. So to perform summation, we need to have two times, right? So the ultimate variable, that is the sum here, will have the function time, and followed by that we'll be having the three other attributes of the object sum here, right? So sum dot r is equal to t1 dot r plus t2 dot r, that is the simple summation of the two timings that we are doing here, right? Sum dot minute is equal to t1 dot minute plus t2 dot minute, and sum dot second is equal to t1 dot second plus t2 dot second. So it's a simple addition of these three attributes that we're trying to do here. And we are going to ultimately return the sum. Now, this particular function, this, this particular code that we have written here, is a simple function which performs the addition of two timings. It's the pure function, right? It is taking a value as an argument, right, as input. It is processing it, that is nothing but it is computing the sum, and then ultimately it is resulting you the output, which is the sum of these two times, right? The addition of these two times as the output. There is no changes or any modification or any manipulation that we have done here. So that's why it is called as a pure function. That's how usually we have our pure functions, right? This is a normal, a typical way of writing a function. Mostly we have been using it. Uh, those type of functions are called pure function, because simple reason is because it does not change any value. We are not modifying anything here. It does not modify any of the objects passed to it as an argument, right? For example, T1 and T2. We are not modifying those T1 and T2. We are simply using the T1 and T2 to get a sum of it, right? But how how can we have a modifier here, right? How can we say that we can change the value? So in order to understand that first, let us take an example of this pure function, and then we will compare this example of pure function with a modifier. So discussing about the pure function, let us go ahead and write a small program, right, to test this particular function that we have written here, right, which is a summation of two timings. So let's say I have to record the time, that is the let's say the start of a movie. I have to record a time during the start of the movie, and also have to record a time after the end of the movie, right? So for which I have to know the duration of the movie, right? I need to this is the prerequisite that I have to get, that I should know the complete duration of a particular movie, right? I hope you got the definition here. What we are trying to do here is we are trying to add two timings, right, using this pure function. Now these two timings, one timing being this time recorded before the movie, before the movie started, and second time is the time that we record after the movie is ended. Right? So we have two timings: the start of the movie and the end time of the movie, and ultimately we have to add these two timings. But the question is, how do we understand when we have to record that time? For that, we need to have the duration of the movie as well, right? So let's say that the duration of the movie is 1 hour 35 minutes, right? Let's say it is 1 hour 35 minutes. So we now have the understanding that we have to record a time, and that is the first time T1, you can say start time, and we have to record the end time after 1 hour 35 minutes, right? So the program looks something like this, that let's say we have this start time, start hour is 9, start minute is 45, and start second is 0. So let's say the time is now 9 hours 45 minutes 0 seconds. So it's 9:45, let's consider, let's say am, and we have to this is the start time of the movie, right? 9:45. And duration time, the duration is complete duration of the movie is 1 hour and 35 minutes. That is the input that we have got, right? That is the information that we have, that the duration of the movie is 1 hour 35. So we are going to store into another variable called duration, with hour being 1, minute being 35, and seconds are 0. So that says that duration of the movie is 1 hour 35 minutes and 0 seconds. Now with this input, now we have all the information to process what can be the end time, or what is the time when the movie will be ended, right? So the simple way to do it is add the timings, right? Add the whatever the start time of the movie is, add the duration of the movie, so that we get the end time of the movie, right? So simple add operation, whatever that is the add time that we have done here, simple thing can be done again here, right? Okay, am I audible? Can anybody acknowledge?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, so once we have the start time and the duration of the movie, we are just simply going to add the timing so that we have the end timing of the movie. Now let us go ahead and see what happens. We have this uh, same variable that we have done. Let's say variable done, that is the movie is completed, right? And the add time, we are going to call the add time with the start time as T1 and duration as T2, right? So this T1 and T2 will be substituted here, and then we are going to compute the sum of these two timings, and then what we have sum is like this, right? So when we print this time stored in the variable done, we get something like this, right? So 10 hours and 80 minutes. So, but this is not the adequate format that we were hoping, right? Though the output is right, there is no error in it. There is a small bug, you can say, but the program has done its task, that is adding the two numbers, that is hours, the minutes, right? So the result is 10 hours and 80 minutes, which is not which we were expecting, right? So the problem is because since it is a pure function, it is simply going to add the values, right? And it will not do adjustments or modifications or changes by its own, right? So for that, we need to do some modifications, some changes, because we have to bring this unformatted data into a format data, right? So in order to do that, we have to bring some changes. What are those changes? Is these you can say that these are the changes which the modifier type of functions provide us, right? So modifier is another type of function which helps us to bring this little modifications or whatever the assumptions or the adjustments that we expect to be happening by its own implicitly are not happening, then we are going to create this modifiers. Right. So let us take the same example and understand how the same program can be converted from a pure function to a modifier function. So a better version of the above function can be this, right? So let's say we have this same definition T1. This is the same thing that we have done, right? One way to do it is adding additional statement, right? So which will keep the function as pure, right? So before discussing the modifier, let us try to create a better version of the above code itself, right? That is nothing but simply adding some conditional statements. That is, if the second is greater than 60, then increment 1 minute, right? And similarly, when the minutes are greater than 60, then increment hour by again one number, right? So that is again a simple code that we can write to keep the function again pure, right? So we are not changing anything, we are not manipulating the attributes, oh sorry, the arguments that we are getting, that is the t1 and t2. We are not modifying anything with respect to t1 and t2, right? We are just simply changing the variables here, that is the attributes second and minutes, right? So this will again ensure that this program, this particular function is still the pure function. But what if we want to have a modifier inbuilt placed there, which can do this task by its own, right? So that's where the modifiers can come in and you know uh, help us to make the task easier. But as the name suggests, they are the modifiers. They change the data, they change or they modify the object which they get as the parameter or the argument, right? Which is the, let's say, T1 and T2, start time or duration time. So whatever the parameter that we receive, the modifiers modify that parameter and then make it suitable according to the program, uh, the need of the program, and then produce the output, right? So that's why they are called the modifiers. Now, one such example is the increment. Let's take this increment of this time itself, right? The increment in the time that we have seen. For example, the this glitch you can say that we have seen here, 10 hours and 80 minutes, right? Which should be actually 11 hours, or you can say time of the day, that is 11 hour and 20 minutes. That should be the appropriate expected answer that we would be expecting. But uh, since there's a bug, you can say, then how can we modify it? That is where the modifier can come in. But how to do it, let us consider this code. So whatever we have done above using the conditional statements here, right? This whole set of program, that is converting a 60-minute time into 1 hour and converting 60-second time into 1 minute, right? So this whole thing can be summed up into one modifier, and let us name that modifier as increment. So its job is to just increment the value of a minute if the second is greater than 60, right? Greater than or equal to 60, and increment the value of hour if the value of minute is greater than or equal to 60, right? So this modifier just increment the time, be it minute or be it seconds, right? or be it minute or be it hour. So the input for it is time and second, of course. And the conditional statements remains the same. The above statement, that is, once the second reaches greater than 60, we decrement the seconds to minus 60. That is again bringing down to zero, and we convert the minute to plus one. Right? We add one more minute, and similarly, when the minute is greater than or equal to 60, we decrement the minute to zero again, that is by subtracting the minute with 60, and then we increment the hour, right, by one, which will give us the conversion that we were expecting. Now with this modifier being placed in that program, now we can say that the expected output can be what we usually would be expecting, right? So this is the modifier, but as a good programming practice, it is always better to have a pure function instead of a modifier, right? So there are different pros and cons for that, having a modifier and not to have a modifier. And so there are different advantages to have a pure function, as well as disadvantage to have a pure function, and also there are advantages and disadvantages to have a modifier as well. But as a better programming practice, it is always suggested to have a pure function wherever possible. But if you see any advantage of having a modifier there, then it is recommended to have a modifier as well. So that's what the having that's what the motive of having a modifier is there. Like for example, like this, and it can be one more example can be like, can anybody give me a one more example? I'll just leave the example up to you. Anybody can think of a similar example wherein we can have an inbuilt modifier placed for that? Before I give you any example, can anybody come up with an example? Yeah. Okay. So one such example can be leap year also, right? We can have a modifier for a leap year, right? So that can be another example, and you can think of few more examples as such. But the point is, again, wherever possible, it is always suggested to have a pure function instead of a modifier. But like I said, modifier have their own distinct advantages. So in that case, it is suggested to make use of modifier as well. That is fine, right? So and that this way of programming, that is uh, always having the pure function instead of a modifier, and wherever necessary, use only wherever the modifier is necessary for its advantage, then modifier can be used. This style of programming, you can say this type of programming is what we call as this functional programming style, right? Functional programming style, because we change according to the function need, right? We change according to the functionality of the program. So wherever possible, if there is a comparing advantage for the modifier, you can use the modifier, but it is always recommended to use a pure function, right? So prototyping versus planning, there is not much to be discussed about prototyping, as you just saw an example what a prototype would look like, and what is the difference between prototyping and planning, right? So you can also go and visit some of the links which has been provided by the author. He has the GitHub account as well, wherein he has dumped all the programs that he has discussed with respect to more such problems in the similar context, right? So you can have a visit there. Let me show you that also. Yeah. So I don't know whether the screen is clearly visible, but right. So this is the profile of the author Alan Downey for this book Think Python, right, second version, and he has done similar type of examples related to what we discuss here for the for example here the class time, right. So you can go and visit the code which is freely available. You can save these codes, and if you want to modify few things in this code, you can modify these things, right? You can use it to create some kind of a small project kind of thing, right? So he has done this adding of two times, converting a time to an integer, and also converting an integer to a time value, right? So and then validating the time. There are a lot of other stuff that the author has done here and dumped the code at GitHub, right? Yeah. So there are few examples of the pure functions as well as few modifiers that he has saved here, right? Anyways, so yeah. So this is all about the module that is classes and functions, right? So how can we make use of the function of our own function, which can be used whenever we require, right? Like how we created our own type called point. Similarly, we can have our own function like time, wherein we can use this time to perform different tasks, right? So that's all about the classes and functions. If you have any doubt, any particular topic that you have not understood, the session is free for doubt clarification. Yeah, anybody any doubt? Yes, guys, please reply. Anybody having any doubt? People says, oh, no, so what about others? Okay, so if there are no doubts, then we shall conclude the lecture. But before concluding the lecture, I think regarding the second eye, you might be getting the marks for the second eye by today or maybe tomorrow maximum. Once all the subjects marks are you know confirmed, then the numbers that you have given as your parents number, you'll be getting a message on that. Anybody who have to update their parents number, they can please ping me after the class, giving their updated mobile number, right? In case if you have changed your mobile number, talking about your parents mobile number, in case there is a change in your parents mobile number, uh, that the one that you have given earlier, so you can please ping me after the class and give me the updated uh, live mobile number, so that whatever message will be sent through the college, you'll be receiving that messages, right? Because last time, the first time it had happened that few of the mobile numbers were not updated. So we had the previous record of the mobile numbers of the parents. So the messages has been sent to those numbers, but since those numbers were not active, it was dead. Few of you guys have not received that IA messages, right? So in case if there is any discrepancy, any change in the phone numbers, update me so that I can update to the department, and the department will have the updated database. Right. So with this, we will conclude the lecture, and in case we have any doubt, you can reach me out. Right. So thank you for joining in. You can leave the meeting.